mid. I have seen it absolutely pop off, but I've also seen it like blink in and feed to
hit or miss.
A black hole. I agree with the hit or miss sentiment. I'm kind of feeling like these days it's more miss than it is hit. Now that people are not like surprised by what she's doing with the spell lifesteal. You know, you see her at like 40% HP, and you're like, oh, we got her. She daggons a creep, and she's like full HP again. People realize you have to full to zero the co-op. Don't necessarily like chase her in the fights. It's not as much of a lane dominator as it used to be.
Well, look, it's game number 3 in this best of 3, all right? It's going the full distance. It's going to decide who sits in upper, who sits in lower. So I do want solid predictions in terms of who you think is going to take it. Just say the team.
I mean, BB team, they just have really powerful heals, a lot of damage.
Okay.
Fire.
Fire.
I'm going to go Liquid, 33 on Enigma, uncountered. That's a problem.
Uncounted. Alrighty, let's jump on into it, though. Let's get into a game number 3 with our casters, Cap and SVG.
Down in the hole, 0 and 5, staring into the abyss, and BB team pull off one hell of a game 2 against Team Liquid, a team that they have struggled against for so long. Avery, I'm a believer, man. I feel like they're talking about hit or miss for this BB team lineup. I think this is a hit, man. I think that game 2, I haven't been excited about watching BB team this much since, I don't know, probably like a year or 2 ago.
You've been converted, huh?
Yeah, man. That one game was hype.
They have convinced you, and they have gone back to the save Bat Rider, which absolutely dominated that game. I was looking at Liquid's bans. I felt like they were the ones who had to kind of pick the poison now, right? They banned the Kunkka. They were still afraid of the Shadow Demon, which has been a huge hero for save. And Toronto Tokyo will play it. They got rid of the Naga, which has just been a huge team fight threat. But, you know, they left things like that Bat Rider that sneaks through, the Timber from game 1. BB team going back to something that worked in that game 2 and trying to bring some more team fight to it. This game could absolutely go either way. I think both teams have a lot of team fight. They have a lot of scale. They have some spooky cores if this game goes really late.
What started things off the right way would be perfect, but the smoke reveals Liquid's positioning.
And I think this Enigma is the real X factor. I mean, we are at TI. We have an Enigma in the game. We have Phoenix in the game. 2 huge team fight ults that both teams really want to play around. And they really want to get their offlaners off to a good start between the Timber and the Enigma to try and, you know, take early towers, take that game over. I think that was a huge difference in that game, too. Liquid lost some of their tier 1s very early in that game. Some of it was the Furion. You can't really prevent it. But some of it was they just got pushed in, right? And they didn't react to it too well. They weren't able to bring the Mirana into some of those early fights. The hero just wasn't ready for it. Weaver is a carry that can be explosive here for Mickey. Like, this is a very strong skirmisher early, very strong laner. In theory, has a pretty free early game here. Very limited stuns, right? Your one stun in this early game, outside of when you get that lasso line, is on your carry here for BB team. So in theory, this Storm and Weaver could go absolutely ham. Looking at early rotations, early runes for Nisha, just start swarming these heroes, and you can do some serious damage.
Okay, but you're not talking about the one hero I want you to talk about.
Lone
Andal
Druid.
started talking about it.
Where is Lone Druid, Austin? That
Talking about GPK's hero, the Queen of Pain. It's a hero that has been terrorizing pubs lately. There's pretty much only one build, which is Dagon. And we haven't seen that much of it at this tournament, considering how much it was picked up in these pubs. I feel like it was kind of like the Mid-Nature's Prophet that was super popular leading up to this tournament, and it just didn't get picked up quite as much as it was in pubs. Do you believe in this hero? Because it seemed like the panel was a little iffy on it.
I think my faith in Queen of Pain scaling is there for sure. I think this hero scales like an absolute beast. It's actually very difficult to beat this hero in late game fights. She just does way too much damage. Like, you can at some point get the dagger ags back online, right? And then she just perma-kites you. The Sonic Wave becomes an absolute menace with lower cooldown, and how much that pure damage really shreds you through a lot of these like barriers and random crap. I do have faith in this hero, but it can be a little clunky if that early game doesn't go your way in terms of runes and the more like the enemy mid snowballs. If the enemy mid snowballing more and you have that 1 or 2 early deaths on the Queen, it can feel a little clunky. If you get through that phase, though, this hero's a nuisance. It's deceptively tanky as well. This is not the old Queen of Pain where like you just go on her and she gets stunned once and she just dies. She usually gets to between 1500 2k HP like pretty early on in that early mid game. And sometimes you go on this hero and she just doesn't die. And suddenly you're getting screamed down. There's a random rune, an extra heal.
She gets a kill. She gets the Dagon heal.
Yep.
Right?
So
it's like,
we're going to see Dagger leveled here for GPK. He's just trying to do better on the lane, secure himself a better early game versus the Storm. This is not just the Scream Blink build that you might see going into, you know, being tankier.
It's what most people are building, right? 044 has been the build for most of these co-ops and pubs.
This is an older style. It is a lot more about the lane domination, perhaps setting up a gank potential for Save to come into this mid and get the Storm pre-level 6. That would be a huge pickup if you can kind of wear through Nisha's region, get to that point. I just don't know if you can with the water runes on Storm. It's kind of difficult, but he is winning the early CS a little bit here.
Yep.
And it's a good sign for him. And lanes pretty even across the board, honestly. No one's really suffering or getting punished too hard here. Everybody finding a little bit of their farm. A little extra Eidolons for Nightfall. I'll be happy about that.
Yeah, that is the one thing. This Dragon Knight is doing okay in CS. That being said, a decent amount of it is Eidolons, which are worth less gold-wise than creeps. So
I do think Liquid have more roam potential. I think you kind of want to get a little bit more done with this Enchantress Tusk. Combine them in the early game. You could make the gate rotation on Insania and flank this DK bottom, particularly if the lane is up this far. Like, this DK is susceptible with level 2+ Eidolons here. You have Tusk to give you some extra damage and lockdown chase potential. You really have to think about these supports and where they are in the early game. If your BB team, Liquid are going to try and make the most of them. They don't have the gank threat mid. Maybe that's the one part they're missing here with this Ench Tusk. But the side lane threat is absolutely there. And Weaver is another rotation potential, but also a hero you can rotate to. Threaten this bat in the skirmish, threaten this Timber. You get a good bug on him, deep up the lane.
Yeah.
So side lane equilibrium, really important for both these teams. And you really have to think about the power runes here as well. 6, 8, 10 minutes. Which mid gets these power runes? Very vital.
Gonna dive, go for kill on 33. His Eidolons are going to take out, so there's no real threat whatsoever. He just has his facet or his passive to be able to help him out and get some extra Eidolons off of that. And does manage to get the kill on Toronto Tokyo as a result, but they take advantage of the fact that Bo3 went on a bit of a walkabout there to secure the 4-minute water rune bottom. Take that away from GPK. Helps Nisha, but costs 33 his life.
It's a very valuable water rune because you're looking at the Dagger Queen here. And this is where that pressure starts to ramp for the Storm. So removing the regen from the Queen of Pain, really instrumental here. But there's no bottle refill. In fact, he's just got the TP out. Yeah. This is tough. And bottle refill comes in for GPK. That Toronto Tokyo death, honestly, was about as good as it gets for a death in the early game. Because, you know, the Enigma's not on the lane. The Tusk had to walk back. You're out of resources. Instead, you get a trip to base, a refill mid when that water rune got denied. I feel like that whole sequence... Toronto Tokyo not too sad about it. And solo XP for the Dragon Knight is going to be nice here. Deep ward from Save. Going to try and scout the jungling Storm. This is really heads-up gameplay. You know Nisha cannot play for his 6 on the lane. The dagger spam has just been too influential. But they can't really connect here. Heads-up idea, but...
Yeah, I mean, if Nisha stays alive here, which it seems like he will... This may cost you some of the sideline presence that was seemingly going pretty well for BB team, but they're going to stick around for the 6-minute power rune, so that should go the way of BB team. We'll see if they can actually get it into the Quap's bottle.
This did cost them a lot of momentum on this bottom lane. 33 gets to farm a bunch of waves, build up those Eidolons. Now you have to rotate back. You're going to get your obs dewarded there as well.
And this is not like the Enigmas that we've been seeing lately are not like super passive and based around their ultimate entirely, right? We're seeing this Eidolon build where you go the drums and maybe you get the shard and you're actually a real threat with these Eidolons early on against pretty much anybody in the game.
Yeah, you don't think about Black Hole until way later. Yeah. Little shards for a courier. Nice little pickup. Save up here with an Invis rune. He actually snatches that first one out and looking for Mickey, but can't get the connection. Would have been a nice pickup. So a lot of the pressure here, at least in the early game, did go into the Storm Spirit. He's the one suffering here in terms of the net worth. Not by a huge margin, but
he's still not level 6. He's going to get it off of this wave, so he doesn't die against the Quap Dagger, but he might as well have. Kind of like a full half level behind, a bit behind in net worth here. You can see 700 down.
And if you just keep him low, there's not that rotation potential.
Yes.
That's kind of what BB team are looking for here. Whereas GBK, he keeps his mana high. He can counter gank one of these side lanes if Liquid try and push it with the idol.
That was nasty. See that? Insania
value.
With his creep manages to deny the wisdom rune.
Super value.
They get the bug on Miro. TP rotation coming in. Boxy. Oh, that was quite the move. Pulls himself to the Weaver and then pulls the Weaver to the Timber Saw with the snowball.
Very nice connection. Kind of a janky gank, but ends up working out. And there was no Queen counter gank on that play. So Mickey gets away with it. You get that Wisdom Rune deny. Big wins on the map for Liquid here. Support's putting in some work.
33, he will die to the rotation from the Queen of Pain, but still managed to get the kill on the Phoenix, and this time around got the experience for it.
I mean, 1v3, you get a kill. Can't be too sad about that.
No.
And you got that Queen teleport out. That was a big one in this early game for BB team. Kind of had to pick which lane it went to. I think someone was going to go down to it no matter what. Sure. At least you get something out of that 1-on-3 exchange, and now you can ramp up the pressure mid. Get a power room for Nisha, and it's a regen. Super value here.
Pretty much the perfect rune for him. GPK gets his bottle refilled. Boxy spots the stacks that Save was putting in.
Can't give
Nisha, he's going to take the regen rune and take your stacks.
You can't give these away. If you're you lost your wisdom room, now you're losing your stacks. It's bad. It's going to have nothing out of this early game if BB do not defend this. He's level 3.
Let the fun begin.
This is not the early game we've seen out of Save from those first 2 games. He was the driving force behind that first 20 minutes. Here, he is a liability.
Yeah, now that means somebody else on the side of BB team is going to have to step it up, not just the captain.
There's going to be some early pressure coming in between the 3, 4, and 5 from Liquid in this game as opposed to what it was last time. This Tusk, Ench, Enigma are going to be strong on the map. A lot of early just raw skirmish power with this drum on the Enigma to back it all up. It's a lot of right-click coming through in these early exchanges. You have to respect it. Cannot just get caught out in these random jungle areas or tower fights, getting outnumbered here if you're BB team, especially with how low level your supports are right now.
They're not going to let any support stick around in this bottom lane and soak some experience. Toronto Tokyo is going to be found after the dive away. An easy pickup for Nisha.
Exactly what you're looking for if you Liquid. Abuse the level advantage right now. These 2 BB team supports are absolutely useless in a sense. They just don't have the level they need to fight. And you're closing in on 6s for this Ench and Tusk. Easy tier 1 tower for 33 down here. He continues to ramp up. Most farmed core out of the laning phase. He's going to add to it with a free tier 1. BB team kind of looking a little lost as to where you're supposed to strike on the map right now. You can't go into this Weaver. It's just a dead lane in terms of game potential. Don't have the stuns.
Snowball. It's going to pound through. Go to Toronto Tokyo. Nisha jumps away, dodging some of that sonic wave damage. Boxy, he'll back out. A lot of damage done, but ultimately they get a kill and get out. This is great for Nisha because he's closing that net worth gap between him and the Queen of Pain. He's getting more stacks for his mana regen off of all of these kills. And if you can keep it within, some sort of like 500, gold distance with this Queen of Pain, I feel like it's a pretty free Storm game.
Yeah, you're very happy with this situation. Very little stuns to have to play around. No real Gleipnir buyers either.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets like an early Linkens, it's going to be tough because you just got these single target disables, right? Dragon Tail, Blink Lasso. You deal with one of those with a Linkens, you probably stave off the initiation from BB team.
These creeps have been on point from Insania. He's just scouting all these camps, blocking up some stacks. This is a massive ancient stack. Again, so much experience Save needs in this game.
And they're going to fight around it. Liquid, they're going to get the kill on Save as Save commits to kill the Observer Ward. Boxy hanging out here on the high ground is going to use the Snowball to get himself down.
I don't think Liquid can steal this stack, but it is more economic damage done.
Yeah.
And even rotating the Enigma over, so you're going to get the farm up some of this at least. Pressure BB team. Continue to abuse the support duo here. They're going to attempt to steal some of this. I mean, this is pretty clunky, but what is the turnaround potential? Dagon is finished for the Queen, so you have some big burst damage on GPK.
Miro in some trouble. Turns around. Chakram's not going to be able to get the Timber Chain out of here. The snowball stops him. Saika, he comes in way too late to be able to do anything about this. Liquid just group back up around the ancient stack.
You might have to queen ult this, honestly. I don't know if that's what you want to have to do, but you just give Liquid this stack. I mean, what does this Dragon Knight have to fall back on?
Between the Eidolons and the neutral creeps from Insania, they're getting so much information from BB team.
This is indecision right here.
Yeah.
You didn't take the fight, you didn't contest the stack, and you weren't pushing out the other lanes while this happened. That's the biggest loss. You came and watched them get away with it. Just staring down a gold deficit. This is such a turn for the early game of BB team, who have been dominating a lot of the early game skirmishing, it felt like, in that game 1 and 2.
Yep.
Liquid just giving them nothing here. Just been absent, particularly Save. He has not found any momentum. Cores are still in an okay position, but the feel of this game has been an abrupt turn in Liquid. Very happy with how it's going right now.
I mean, if you're going Dagger Quap, you better be winning that first 15 minutes of the game, and that is not the case. Up 2K. Cut down to a little bit shy of that just now, but Mickey, with that safe lane tower gone, he can push in this bottom lane very aggressively. You've got the Enchantress setting up shop and pushing in this top lane. Just a creep. Farming out jungle everywhere. 33's certainly making good use of that.
He's just going straight pipe, and it's going to be a good pipe game. You're also getting Orchid up on this Storm. I was curious if this Queen was maybe going to go back for one just to help deal with the Weaver and the Storm, but...
Yeah, I that's what I imagined that this Quap game was going to be. It was a fast Orchid game that just kills the Storm Seer, kills the Weaver a couple times early, and sets them up with some really good momentum. But unfortunately, the momentum really didn't start too much.
Just gave up your tier 1 mid, too.
Blink Dagger for Saika. So maybe they can do something off of this? They're missing initiation for sure. So with the blink in, the Timbersaw and Quap can follow that up.
I think Nightfall might have to make some moves with this.
I think so too.
Or at least look for 1 or 2 pickoffs. Some of these cores join a fight, because it's got nothing else going for you, and Liquid are taking over this map right now. They're out farming you, they're stealing camps, taking watchers, getting wards up, just controlling everything. Gleipnir is done for the Weaver here at 1430. Okay, incredibly farmed. And Orchid done as well.
Got him. Any saves? There's nothing really there from BB team. It looks like they might not be able to do enough damage, though. GPK does manage to survive through that, but the Supernova is put down. The Black Hole gets used, but coming in from behind. Miro hits a huge Timber Chain whirling death that gets 2 core kills.
Nightfall with some nice...
And a third one on top of that.
What a disaster for Liquid. An aggressive go. They thought they had the timing with the Orchid and the Gleipnir finished exactly on point. They get the jump on the Queen, but this is what I was talking about. The Queen of Pain tankiness in this early mid game. He's already up to 1800 HP. Tread's done for GPK. Lets him survive. Fire Spirits come through from Toronto Tokyo. Stalls up all the extra right click. And his boy Nightfall there to tank the Black Hole. Ends up working out under this tier 1. Maybe kind of the dream fight for BB team in some ways. Like, you're going on their tankiest hero who survives, and then sure, you get to kill this egg, but there's a lot of damage coming out. These heroes are half HP for Liquid, and then you get a 3-man Sonic Wave into that Timbersaw burst. That's just juice for Miro here.
Fantastic routing from Miro. His Timbersaw.
And it also
playmaker in game 1.
It begs the question, like, was that move necessary for Liquid, right?
No.
They had the whole map. They had it constricted. They had the vision advantage. It felt like BB team were the ones who were going to be forced to make a smoke play to try and break that hold, and then you can counterplay that as Liquid. That just kind of played it into the BB team's hands a bit. Gives them some life in this game.
Yes, certainly no reason that you had to dive a tier 2 against a Supernova Phoenix. Miro jumps into all of these heroes that he didn't know was there, immediately orchid it up. He's in trouble, and he's going to be left behind. His BB team now start backing themselves away. Mickey, he came in through the side, got the pick up on save, and now Nisha's diving in for more. With the Malefice on Toronto Tokyo, they'll grab a 3rd kill out of this one. Apparently Liquid, not deterred by the failure of their last team fight. They take another one here. here. Mickey does manage to jump away just before they jump in from GPK. One in, one out, turns around. Sonic Waves trying to finish up 33. It's not going to be enough. He dies as well. They just got wiped.
That is more of the fight Liquid we're looking for. Just starting these random jungle areas, get the jump on a good target. In that case, it's Timber going straight into you. Miro just did not know where they were, and he ended up chaining into the wrong area of the map. Liquid get that 5-man wipe they were looking for with this Orchid Gleipnir. Make it look a lot easier than the first time around. We'll put a lot of their spells on cooldown here.
Miro just coming right back to the same scene of the crime here.
I mean, he knows the resources are a bit lower. But yeah, you do have to respect the lockdown right now. This Orchid has been putting in work and save. I mean, that is just not the area you want to be in right now. Nisha has struck back in this game with a force after the rough lane versus the Quap Dagger. Just done so much more. BB team on the back foot as they are continuing to bleed around the map. These supports have had a rough one, and now they are food for the fodder.
Yeah, with all these lanes pushing in, the map is very small for BB team, and that just makes the Storm more and more effective. I mean, he's getting 4.5 mana regen out of these galvanized stacks right now, and he really doesn't have to jump that far for a lot of these little fights that are happening.
And when he jumps in, you've got that pipe to back him up. You've got a snowball save to bail him out.
True.
Enchantress heal. Some okay utility here for him to rely on. And again, what's your lockdown for this Storm? You have to land the Dragon Tail.
They got him. Dragon Tail, but he had a shield rune. Oh, that's so annoying.
It wasn't enough anyway, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like Orchid on the quad prevented the damage coming out, and you just, or on the bat prevented the chain stun coming out. So
right,
this one stun is just not enough right now for BB team. Liquid taking advantage of it. Need to push their advantage.
Make sure to keep the lanes pushed in, hoping to keep BB team on their side of the map. BB team is not going to do that, though. They push out onto Liquid's side, knowing that it is honestly much safer over there than it is near their own base.
Yeah, I mean, the way you can break this is to push out top, get Liquid to TP up here, and hopefully not lose anybody on the way back out. Otherwise, you at least trade the map 50-50, which right now you're probably okay with if you're BB team, because this 5v5 is not looking doable until you have bad blink.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But you need a bit more control at some point in this game. We'll also see at what point Liquid feel comfortable enough to force Roshan, because you have this pipe, Boots of Bearing build on the Enigma. In theory, you can go into that pit and kind of force the 5v5 reaction from BB team if you're confident enough about your auras. Blink 30 gold off for save. I'm surprised they're kind of looking here. Like, I mean, sell the clarity, my man. Like, you know, just get yourself there, because you're not finding a lot right now.
No, they're not. Yule Scepter, but he comes back down into a world of hurt. And Orchid keeps him in place, and Mickey will deliver the damage. His tier 2 is falling fast.
Radiant's middle tower.
Blink for bat done, and they smoke up, but you just fed away your timber while you were waiting for this last trickle of gold. So, like, where are you smoking to now? You're smoking to farm?
Yeah, I think you're smoking just to get out on the map, frankly. You know, you said that the power rune's pretty important in this matchup of Quap versus Storm Spirit, and that's one part of Liquid just being able to control the map right now, right? Yep. They're getting every single power rune for a Storm Spirit. That just feels like it's impossible to team fight. Makes it even harder for BB team. So I respect the fact they smoke out just to get out on the map, because you really can't take this 5-on-5 next to your tier 2. That tier 2 is now gone.
It's expensive, though. I mean, these smokes are not free. You're going to be missing them in the mid game. Wisdom Rune would be super nice here.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup. But
need something here if you're these supports.
You can steal the Wisdom Rune. What you cannot steal is their Tormentor. So Liquid will take your Tormentor and eventually go back and do their own.
Okay, but to be fair, you know, BB team hasn't had the best history with Torment, so that might have been good for them.
That's true. That's true. I mean, Toronto Tokyo is certainly in a happier space if they're not doing Torment.
I mean, that Liquid stealing BB team's Tormentor is basically an Aegis for Toronto Tokyo. Right? So gave him an extra life.
It's true.
Amp damage rune for Nisha, though. This is incredibly scary on the map.
GPK. Okay.
That might have been a solo kill.
Yes.
It would have been close. And GPK is still saving up gold. I think he's debating whether he wants something more offensive here or defensive.
I feel like you gotta go BKB.
He's debating. He was thinking about Kaya for some more damage. Now he's thinking about BKB. He has 4K gold. He's thinking about Ags now. I don't think this Quap.
Ags.
I mean, I honestly don't think this Quap item is super obvious. Like, it is not. It's extremely pivotal in this game. Maybe the most important item coming up here. He's going to buy out for the Ags. This is the more aggressive choice and the one that will pay off more over the long run.
Yeah.
But if you get jumped orchided,
yeah,
you are dead in the water, right? There's nothing to bail you out right now, except, you know, fire spirits coming through, stun coming through, that type of thing. Oh, this is a huge grab.
Great pickup from Save. They saw some heroes. Toronto, Tokyo made the space in the bottom part of the map, right? They were chasing after that at Phoenix. They saw 2 heroes there. BB team said, now's our time to be able to strike, make use of these Blink Dagger initiations, and they found the perfect mark for it to Nisha's Storm Spirit.
Save had a very rough game, but that is a big smoke play into the exact grab they were looking for while Liquid are trying to do Roche. So now this gets stalled up a bit because ideally you want this Aegis on the Storm. I think they're going to commit for this no matter what, because, I mean, that last was on cooldown. They committed DKL. There's no contest here. But I think this would have happened regardless of that Storm death.
True.
And now it just gives BB team more time to farm the map. This is going to swing that net worth deficit by a couple K here. And they had the BKB on the Dragon Knight to back that move up. They're going to push towards the BKB on the Timber Saw. And this Ag's done on the Queen of Pain, pushing towards BKB as well. So maybe BKB has not been the best it's been in some of these recent patches, but you're going to have 3 of them on the side of BB.
Dire are scanning.
We'll see whether or not GPK can get to that BKB uncontested.
And I think Orchid for Nightfall here is going to be a big turning point in this game. Like, if you can't get the defensive items up on the Storm and the Weaver, it gives you an extra catch tool. Heads up play by Save. That's a lot of space.
That's twice now that the supports on BB team have made space in the side lanes and not been caught in the process.
I mean, they're clawing their way back in this game. It's not been pretty for them. But they're not in the worst position, all things considered. And now the onus is kind of on Liquid to, you know, what do you do with this Aegis period? Are you content just closing out the map and continuing to farm? Do you want to push? I don't think you can push with it, right? It looks disastrous.
Yeah, in some ways.
Lasso, Phoenix Egg.
They're kind of suffering from their own success because they've already taken so many of these towers. It's like, okay, what's left? A tier 2 at top and then tier 3s? Like, I don't think you're going high ground this early, as you said, against this kind of lineup.
But you have triple aura build up on the Enigma here. You're going Crimson on 33 on top of the Boots of Bearing plus the pipe. You kind of want to fight with this, and there's not a lot left to fight other than like push high ground, and that seems incredibly spooky.
This is a dangerous point for BB team at the same time, right?
Oh,
they just got chased out of their side lanes. This is the point where Liquid can actually make use of this Aegis, potentially catch BB team.
The catch would be the ideal. Like, if you can find someone on a side lane with this Storm Orchid, just lock them down, bring the other support. They would really love to pick up GPK here, and they TP top looking for him. He's already out.
Yep, the Weaver showed on this ward that they've got deeper in the jungle.
Eat deeper lane wards here if you're Liquid. I think that's the key that's missing. You have this one lane ward top, but your other one's on that outpost bottom that kind of let you do Roche. And ideally in this type of map state, you want wards near the tier 2 top, near this base bottom. You can see where BB team are going and set up for them preemptively, because right now the catch is proving a little difficult.
Yeah, you can't start making that rotation once they show on the creep wave. BB team, they know, like, once they show on the creep wave, the timer has already started. They're going to kill that wave and get out.
They're playing cat and mouse right now, giving up a little gold lead, but getting their cores to their next items. And if you look at that net worth chart, their cores are not too sad in this game. And this game could come down to which team's 3 cores can just stand in that fight more. Like, maybe you land some good black hole here, but heroes are tanky. There's some sustain with Sunray, Fire Spirits. Find a quick little Phoenix kill.
Finally get something.
Heads up snowball in the camp to prevent any sort of action there. This is enough to open up some sort of push or jump. Get the last tier 2. Gem on Insane will continue to control a lot of the map here.
Yeah, it's a good idea. But again, the BB team vision was so deep that he's not going to see a lot of these wards that are actually out on the map.
They're going to go for the high ground push. This is a scary push into the Bat Rider lasso.
is under attack.
Into a Phoenix egg that you could, in theory, defend pretty well on this high ground.
Can save, get the initiation. Can Liquid counter it?
I honestly don't think Liquid want to fight this. I think they are way more interested in bringing BB team back to their base.
Which they did do. All 5 heroes came back.
That's what's valuable here. Because now you get to farm the map and there's no pesky quap deep on your side lane.
Yeah.
Evening out the net worth gain. You're going to get to build advantage off this. Get another power rune for Nisha. Maybe deward some of these deep obs and set up somewhere else. Smoke from BB team. Looks like they want to make a play.
Scanning.
Are still looking for that Queen of Pain BKB, but they have a shield rune on GPK right now, which kind of makes up for it. Might just be happy with farming out the last minute on this Aegis as well.
Yeah.
Like, why take the fight into 2 Storm lives when you can take it into 1? And he doesn't have that defensive item yet. You know, Nisha, he recovered a lot of his game, but he's not ultra wealthy or anything. And he's still susceptible to getting Lasso, DK, Stun, Orchided, which is the big threat. You're going to look towards that Snowball save to bail him out at that point, which could come in through the Tusk, but there is no blink on Boxy. You went for Solar Crest. So you have to think about how deep you go in with this Storm Spirit versus where your bailout actually is in the fight.
They're making this move without Nisha. Gonna try and take this Wisdom Rune. Mickey opens up on Psycha. But the lasso comes through, grabs the Weaver, turning it around, but they're not going to be able to burst down this Weaver, not very quickly. Maybe with the Orchid, a Force Staff gets a little bit farther away, but I don't think it's enough damage. Miro, yeah, he managed to get off his ultimate. Mickey's back up, pretty full, pretty healthy. Insania throwing some damage back at GPK, but they do start backing away. So does BB team. They respect the fact that Storm Spirit could come in. The Aegis is expiring as well, so we was about to get that big boost in mana regen. Speaking of a boost in mana regen, a regeneration for Storm Spirit in the bottle now.
And closing in on the Lincolns, it will make his ability to be more aggressive a lot easier in exchanges like that. Daedal is going to up the damage here for Mickey. Still susceptible himself, but fairly tanky for now.
Yeah, we saw that last one. With the Daedalus and his level 20 talent, he does big burst damage.
It's a lot more.
They complete that Lincolns for the Storm Spirit, and I feel like your item timings are all hitting, but are you going to do anything with it?
And you don't
with
have
like second Roshan around, you know?
It's awkward. I think you're waiting for next Roche here, looking for pickoffs on the map, continuing to control the power runes.
Is it bad for either team going late here? Do you have a preference?
It's really hard to say. I think I would favor BB team a little bit just because you went this aura build up on the Enigma.
Yeah, sure.
But it really comes down to like the item execution, the saves from things like the Tusk and the Sunray. Who gets the jump is a big factor as well.
Sure.
Между небом и землей лишь я достойный.
Go flip the coin. You feeling lucky today?
You need to talk to Bulk. You need some of that confidence, man. Damn.
It's not a GPK issue. It's a game issue, you know?
Okay.
This is the precarious point for him. So he needs to get to like the next, 1 or 2 items here. I will also say this game paused at a interesting point of these teams getting very close to each other. And I don't know if either one knows the either is
Oh,
there.
yeah. The Timber Saw is above them. And the rest of the team,
But I think everybody's in fog relative to each other. So this is
yes.
interesting. I don't know what will happen out of this, but
like
That's
Liquid are
how-
playing
that's
under
how it
their
goes.
vision. Miro is playing under his vision. So is the rest of his team, actually. They're
that's
playing
that's
under a
classic,
different ward.
classic BB team.
Don't fight, go. Well, are they serious? Or
I cannot tell you how many times I've seen GPK say go while one of his teammates is still disconnected.
Dude, that is
it's actually up here. It's a classic.
This man just doesn't care. He just wants to get into the game. Doesn't care if it's a 4 versus 5. I mean, that's what happens when you get that high of MMR, right? You have to win some games 4 versus 5.
BB team posing some question marks here. Of course, Liquid probably have them all muted.
I was about to say, everybody probably has everybody muted, so they're probably telling each other to go, and nobody actually knows that they've said anything.
All right, but no damage done. We're all in the clear here.
And no fight either.
See what BB team decide to do out of this, because they do have that Timber BKB. You're closing in on your Queen BKB. You're 100 gold off here, and that would complete your trifecta.
Is that I saw Bloodthorn being completed, right?
Yep, Nightfall.
That is
Friday
a
night.
massive damage boost for BB team.
He's level 18 as well. So he's kind of hitting his power spike.
Yeah.
Talked about the Weavers as well here. A lot of damage coming out from these two carries. If you can sit there and deliver it, that's the big question. Where does the lockdown come from? Can you land a big shards or black hole connection for Liquid, or where the storm jump comes through relative to the bat lasso and the DK stun?
Yeah, I mean, Mickey has no defensive items, really. He's got Hurricane Pike. He is depending heavily either on his own play and not getting caught by that Bloodthorn, or the save coming out from boxing. One or the other.
Yeah, there's only 3 mechanisms. Hurricane Pike yourself out, get snowballed, or Nisha throws a clutch Lincolns on you.
Yeah.
Or BB team just overcommit on you, trying to burst you, and you can bail them out with, like the ores from Enigma and drop a black hole.
Sure.
And just zone control it. So there is some stuff he can play around. But ultimately, yeah, if the Weaver gets jumped and pulled into the side of BB team, the fight's over. Like, that's it. He's gone.
Nisha bullying BB team's position on the map right now. Has a gem on him and a Lincoln's. So he's moving around, clearing out vision that BB team worked so hard to get out of the map and to place in the first place. Do manage to get a Tormentor, but with them all going back to the fountain, this pretty much guarantees no map control for them.
Under attack.
Triple BKB online right now. 33 did finish up that Crimson. Triple Aura online for Liquid, looking towards the next Roche. So taking a fight during this interval would be a little risky in terms of your map control and looking towards the biggest objective.
Trying to bait out an illusion. Showing it with some other heroes.
I mean, you can see Liquid, like, they want to fight, but there's no logic in pushing that fight into BB team's base right now.
Yeah. I mean, fighting
have to be
into
patient.
Lasso Supernova is so difficult.
Yep.
Black Hole is not going to do that much for you if it's underneath a Supernova.
Absolutely not. And there's that Bloodthorn flying out on the courier. Finished here.
Big pickup.
For Saika, though, his DK form is going to run out in the next 30 seconds. So you're smoking into a decaying DK form. A little bit awkward, but again, I think maybe most of the fight comes down to the jump from the lasso and the DK connecting on a core target.
If you were to find something right now, it would be fine. The Dragon form would stay up, but they're just not going to.
Yeah,
like Mickey's making his way back.
Scanning.
That's one of those 50-50 Sakuchis. Like, do you go down and die, or do you go up and not die?
He chose correctly.
10 seconds for Roche. I mean, Liquid definitely still have a map advantage and a lane advantage in terms of securing information.
Yeah, look at that push that's coming in top lane.
Yep.
Somebody's got to deal with this Eidolon shove.
Yeah, Insania has continued to be a menace with these creeps, and the Eidolons continue to push in mid. So, again, if Liquid want to play this very patient, they can. They can just kind of wait, force BB team into them with the extra map control and lane pressure they have, wait till somebody shows, and then play off that information. I think that's the best route here, instead of just smoking aggressively blind. Like, there's a lot that can go wrong with that. Though you did pick up the Weaver BKB. gives you a lot more security here in the team fight. And BB team do not know about this. So if they try and all commit on Mickey here and it goes bad,
Toronto Tokyo would be a good target to be able to burst down quickly, but he's got a Yules. Can they get him? Miro's going to jump forward. Looks like Toronto Tokyo is good for it. He gets off the Supernova, but Liquid is already backed away. Outside of the range, will not be caught in this. And now, Nisha can try and jump back in. They go back to Toronto Tokyo, deal with him while the rest of BB team, wounded from the engagement, have to just give up this area. The bugs go out, trying to search for more.
This is a tough fight, man. You don't have Timber, BKB, you have no Phoenix at all. They're going to hide for now.
Yeah, they have to TP back. It's
too hard, man.
As crazy as that positioning is and how you maybe could have gotten behind Liquid, there's just no way to take that 4 versus 5.
I mean, honestly, that idea of baiting the Phoenix, he can bail himself out with Yules before the burst comes through. It's not the worst idea to get Liquid to commit, but the lack of lockdown is just...
Oh, yeah.
It is so destroying you. You cannot keep a hero around you for anything unless that DK stun lands, and...
Toronto Tokyo pulled the trigger on that Supernova pretty quickly.
I mean, he has to. He has to. Like, once you're committed in there after the Yules, you risk just getting bursted off a random Weaver hit or a Storm jumping you or something. And
sure.
I don't blame him for that, but you have like one stun to make that play work. It's just so difficult. And I mean, Liquid played it well. Like, they do not commit in here. They just, again, kite it out, wait for their moment. And now they get an Aegis onto the Weaver this time. So this could be a high ground mechanism. Give 2 lives on the Weaver, BKB for the second. Force BB team to commit some spells into this carry that is dealing a lot of damage right now.
Yeah, speaking on that, I mean, we talked about how BB team could turn this game around off of a triple BKB timing. They haven't done that. And now Liquid is looking at their own BKB timing. Mickey already had his, but now Nisha is getting his with the Lincolns and a BKB and already limited lockdown.
Untouchable, man. He is going to be a problem. Maybe you just are looking to outlast this with your BB team, but your supports are so squishy and so susceptible. I have a hard time imagining you get away from the fight with the Weaver and the Storm Chase. Like, I don't think you can make the same play Liquid did. I don't think you can go and bait BKBs from Liquid and get out. They're going to force the high ground. Aegis on the Weaver. I mean, you could lasso him in. Just try and burn the first life. See what save opts for here.
But if you don't manage to burst him down, he just BKB time lapses. And then there goes one of your only stuns. Oh,
that is a brutal percentage.
Oh, he goes for it. Save doesn't get the initiation and dies in half a second. He reached for it. And he gets burned in the process. A quick buyback from him makes things even worse for BB team as Liquid. There's no rush. They've got 3 minutes left on this Aegis timing. Another power rune to pick up, and this one's an arcane rune.
Quick smoke from BB team, though. Really looking to punish somebody who's just relaxed here on a random lane.
Well, they did this before. In game 1, they caught 33, separating from his team off of this kind of play, and they've got him.
No save.
Foxy could get there in time, and now he's going to die for it as well.
They do get the D-ward on the cliff, but the damage has been done.
Miro's looking, seeing if they can find anybody else off of the next Dragon Tail stun.
Yeah, I mean,
slippery heroes, though.
You've got 2 jumps in this lineup. They used both.
Yeah.
We're done here, you know. In fact, you have to think about Liquid jumping you because...
Yeah, it's exactly what they're going to do. Jump Miro and burst him down fast.
Arcane Rune's going to power up this Storm. Have to respect the single target burst coming out right now.
Oh, Toronto Tokyo! Yules, he's gonna have the Supernova right away. They may still be able to focus it down. BB team can do nothing to stop it. No disables to be able to throw out. A Sonic Wave hits on 3. Not too bad. Mickey's gonna Shikuchi back, leaving Insania behind. Throw some damage back out on a save. Fearful for his life off of some dangerous crits. Back to the fountain he goes. Liquid with Nisha and Mickey are still the untouchable cores. Everybody else can die, but not those two.
I think it's the closest Nisha's come to dying in this game.
Sure.
Enemy base without mana. But, I mean, you just can't buy a stun at this point. I say that, I mean, you can. It's Dota, so you could buy Hex.
That's true.
And it feels like they need one really bad.
Yeah, who's
Secure
going to
these
do
extra
that
kills.
for them, though?
I mean, normally-
Timbersaw is trying.
I mean, Queen of Pain, right? It has to be GPK. I guess you could get it on Timber. I just don't know how much farm priority he's going to get at this point.
I mean, at this point, I think it's one of those just like both of you trying for it. Whoever gets it first,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, you need him here. Because like we saw, you use your 2 stuns and you can't even take over any of the map. It's like, nice gank, haha. You still have to sit in your base.
Yep.
It will slow down this Aegis push. Aegis is going to expire here in 50 seconds, so...
And we are pushing the game later with every single
Yeah,
Roshan. Like,
yeah.
yeah, Liquid gets it, but they haven't broken high ground yet. And you said you did favor BB team going late. Lightmare. See if they can pick up Miro here. Yules in the middle of it. Pops his BKB, and they got the lasso. Pulling
what a
back
grab.
the Enigma. Once again, they target 33. They had to use a lot for it, just like last time. Yeah, they kill the Enigma, but they can't push for more. They can kill the easy heroes, but what about the big dogs?
No Aegis high ground, though. Didn't lose a Rax during this period. That is valuable.
Yeah.
Save, finding, and opening. Saw the Lincolns thrown out here. There's another Lincolns on this Weaver. You really have to think about these 2 spheres blocking that lasso when you go in on these single target jumps. Gem on line for BB team as well, and Nightfall pushing towards that Daedalus. Is Liquid going to be trying to cross the map? They had this ward bottom. This is the type of ward
Oh, no.
that you want at this point in the game. It scouted everything from BB team. Liquid, they don't
Got their
know
own lane ward that could spot Liquid
you
if
are
they
in
come through
no
safe,
man's
though.
land.
He's the one that had the gem, too.
Got to get out now. Just got to concede more map control here, and Liquid will take it over. Yep, gem on the ground. Didn't get recovered. They're trying to send couriers for it.
All the couriers lining out to try and go out the base, but
None of them want to take it. Gonna send one around the long way bottom. They might actually recover this gem. Liquid just didn't see it. That is the dieback timer on the bat. He's out for a long time, so I think Liquid are going to try and take advantage of this.
yeah. I mean, you said you only got 2 stuns. Well, one of them's dead, and nice use of the banner there. Stopping the Sonic away from killing the creep wave. They'll finish up this lane at Barracks, no problem. Mickey's going to push for more. They won 2 out of this. 30 seconds left until the Batrider can start this engagement for them. BB team, it's either 2 lanes or try and make a fight happen with just a Dragon Tail.
I mean, you can't.
Fight's gonna come to them. They do need to get the Storms here, but there's the snowball save. And now when they come back from that, there's nothing left from BB team. Nisha, in fact, is gonna go back into it. Another Sonic Wave goes out, doesn't hit a thing.
They are low cooldown. And it's 30 seconds for the next one.
Yeah, 30 seconds for Mickey to hit buildings.
Oh, BKB Enigma. That is going to change the team fight impact here a lot if BB team commit in deep.
Another tied in, tried to break through that link. It's not good enough. They're turning around and Save's dead. Nisha with his own BKB stands fearlessly underneath the Supernova. A small zip away and Liquid back into it. There is nothing left on the side of BB team at this point. No Supernova, no lasso to be able to use. Once again, BB team struggled to be able to find a way to control Liquid. Maybe they do have some damage coming out from this Psycha Dragon Knight. But if you can't lock down a hero, and they're zip-zapping all over the place. Pushing out, Psycha tries it, doesn't get it. Now he's in trouble. Lock hole used to lock down Psycha and catches Miro in the midst of it as well. Buyback's going to be put to use, but without a carry, now your damage is out the window. You got no disable, now you've got no damage. Liquid are looking good to be able to take Megas. It might just force out a GG if they want to stick around for it.
I mean, one more lasso from Save. He's going to take the Ench.
Oh, and Enchantress is what you get? You can't even get that with a snowball save coming out for Boxy. It's the clearest read of his life. They've only got one play. It's lasso. He sees it coming a mile away and had the saves to get Liquid over the finish line. Liquid will bring down BB team once again.
I will say, I think that was a closer series than a lot of people imagined. I mean, Liquid did get tested there, but overall, this